Welcome back to the Slide Job Podcast, here for episode 13 on what is a rainy day. I am your host, Colton Smith, here joined by producer Josh Northcutt and co host Ben Miller. Fellas, how are we doing? We're getting into where we at this weekend? Darlington, throwback weekend. We got some beautiful schemes that we're going to bring up. So ready for that. But Reds baseball got started. Maybe we should go back to NASCAR.
Let's
Yep.
just talk
I
NASCAR.
think,
It'll be a lot better just to talk NASCAR.
Yep. I don't want to hear about the Reds right now. They're breaking my heart. I'm not liking this Tito era right now.
It's early though. It's still early. Maybe
True.
the thing about the Tito era is we're just supposed to drink Tito's and and that's what's going to get us through it.
Since his shirt has a T-shirt that literally says basically to do that, so I'm just throwing that out there.
All right. Well, we got a lot on the docket today. We got some huge Auto Club news. I may be overzealous on that a little bit. We have another NASCAR lawsuit to talk about, and just in, Kyle Larson has a very questionable pit crew swap that was announced just today. And then we also have Ben's power rankings, of course, and wrapping it up with the Fast Five picks and Phoenix preview. We had quite a week in the Fast Five last week. Good for one, not so good for the other two. But we'll get into that later on. Let's go ahead and start with this Kyle Larson pit crew swap that came out today. He's got 5 of Haley's pit crew members, Justin Haley, that is, pit crew members on the list for his pit crew this week. That's everybody but the fuel guy. And so it's just a very weird dynamic. Apparently, this is from, as what Ben told me before the show, and Eric Estep said on his YouTube channel, is that it's kind of related to that COTA loose wheel penalty. And so I guess they just want perfection out of these guys or something. I looked up some stats, and Larson's pit crew through the first 6 races was the 11th best in the series based on average stop and overall stop. They're right around that ballpark. When you look at Haley's team, they're 15th in the garage based on average stop. So it's an interesting move. Do they think Haley's team just isn't going to make as many mistakes? I don't know. It's an interesting little random switch this early in the season. So maybe there's something behind the scenes that we don't know. But Ben, Josh, either one of you got anything on that?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you a quick question.
I guess I should have just pointed to one of you.
Yeah, probably. Since you mentioned both of us, I'm gonna go first, Ben. That's okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're right.
Great hosting here.
I have a question for you specifically. Was the one guy suspended at all? Is that what you were saying before the show, or were you just saying it's because of the COTA incident?
It was the I'm pretty sure it was for the COTA incident. I mean they had a tire fall off during green flag pit stops, so I would assume that was part of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I for some reason I thought you mentioned that somebody was getting suspended for it because
the tire changers get suspended for now. We actually made this discovery this week because Fox apparently hasn't. They don't suspend the crew chief for 4 races anymore. It hasn't been for 2 years. Yet Fox still acts like the crew chief. Unless I'm mistaken, I very much feel like I remember them talking about the crew chiefs getting penalized on Fox.
110% that has been brought up on multiple races anytime a tire falls off. Bull felt stupid after he brought it up, but I was like, as you mentioned, the Bull, none of us knew. And when we're watching a broadcast and they're telling us there's going to be a suspension, who are we to doubt?
Yeah.
But I guess my thing was, if there was a suspension, maybe they just want that familiarity of those drivers with Larson, if that makes any sense. Instead of bringing a new guy in for one of your top cars, you bring 4 guys in, 5 guys in, whatever it was, Colton, you said, who have worked together, know their spots, rather than trying to bring in a new body or two because of the suspension. That would be my only assumption, maybe.
But COTA, I think the suspensions are completed.
Okay.
Because COTA was, 5 races ago now, almost?
Yeah, almost 5.
Okay, if that's the case, then I got nothing. There's got to be something behind the scenes.
Just got it, yeah. Like you said, probably something behind the scenes. We got a lot of behind the scenes stuff to talk about, so we're going to go ahead and move on. Unless, Ben, you had anything you wanted to add there?
I mean, like you mentioned earlier, Colton, Kyle Larson's Pit Crew was ranked 11th compared to Haley's, who was 15th, though. So, in a way, though, that's a little bizarre, though, despite that they swapped everybody out except for the gas man. So, I don't know. I'm a little hesitant about that, but overall, though, it just has to do with what happened in Coda for that team. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, though. I mean, hopefully they can turn it around, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I did notice, and we'll move on, is that he did have technically by the average stop, which I think is a pretty good metric, have the worst pit crew at Hendrick, just like 2/100ths of a second off of Bowman's average pit stop, and
Okay.
about 2/10 I think off of Byron's or Elliott's, one of the two. So
Oh, there you go. There's your answer.
yeah. I guess that could be it, but I feel like it was still very early in the season. They don't get a bunch of opportunities, but I guess that could have been the answer there. Anyways, Auto Club, big news at Auto Club, which I guess just any news at Auto Club is considered big news. We had Steve Phelps, the new, what does he call himself? The commissioner, the
Commissioner. Yeah.
what was Palpatine? Emperor, Emperor Palpatine, like
I
of
thought dictator,
NASCAR.
maybe.
Dictator, I think, is probably the more accurate term. He's done some great stuff for the sport. I can't argue that against that. However, this is one I don't agree with him on. He said on NASCAR's Hauler Talk podcast, which is an official like NASCAR podcast they do with their own media stuff. So I never watched it, but I guess it exists. Would I like to? I mean, no slide job podcast. He says, would I like to build a new facility at Fontana, referring to where Auto Club is? I would. Phelps noted that it will cost $300 million to build that facility. Phelps said that is that the best use of that money? That is the big question. The cost of capital right now is still really high. So for us to just press pause right now is essentially what we're doing. He's not pressing pause, he's pressing stop. And I think there's something behind the scenes, like we mentioned, going on here, because it's one thing if they're trying to like they haven't gotten any money from Auto Club, but guess what, guys? NASCAR sold 85%, 443 acres of the 522 acre site, which is by quick math I did on my phone, 85% of the acreage of that site. They got $554 million from that. The cost that Phelps noted in that quote was $300 million to put up a new facility. So you mean to tell me you can't put $300 million of the money that you got from selling all that acreage of Auto Club, you can't take that money and still have $254 million left over for whatever purpose you want to use, I guess probably his paycheck. You can't turn around and use that. Now, this sale was made in 2023, so probably what happened was they have spent it on something else. What? Who knows? But Ben, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on this quote, and what do you think the future for Auto Club is?
I mean, yeah, just I would say crazy. I mean, I just don't get why. Like, I feel like if they use that money towards a new racetrack in Fontana, I mean, that'd be great. I mean, if they would, like, I'm sure a lot of fans would love to see NASCAR return to Fontana at some point, but I feel like I would like for them to build a track out there. But overall, I just don't really have a whole lot. But that's just my take.
Josh?
Like you said, I'd love to know where that money went. I'm sure that there is places that it went, and there's smart
Pockets that it went to.
Yeah, and there's probably some businesses we don't know about. You know what I mean? Like behind the scenes type stuff. But even if you don't take all 300 million, I mean, take half of it, or two-thirds of it, like some kind of amount to build something if that's what you want to do. Because if not, tell us where the hell that money went.
Exactly. And that's kind of where, and I don't want to go too into the conspiracy theory realm, but is NASCAR really just kind of duct taped together? There a lot of stuff that maybe they're not. There's a lot of parts and stuff, that moving parts that go around. So I don't know. That's all speculatory, but I think it's ridiculous that okay, you got 553 from this investment, million from this investment. Why not reinvest 300 of that to ensure it's not like Now, let me rephrase that. You are in Southern California, Los Angeles area. If you're driving into Los Angeles, you will see signs for Auto Club, probably still, or maybe they took them down by now. But I drove in recently in 2023 and saw those. Like, we're talking a big market that NASCAR is wanting to get into. They want it so bad that they did the Clash at the Coliseum for 3 years. So a market that you admit in the quote later on in the quote that you want to get into, you want to get back in there, and we're kind of fiddle farting around on whether we want to do this, want to make this investment. I don't know. There's something more than meets the eye, and it's very fishy. It's very fishy. I don't like it at all. And it's a shame. It's like, you want to get in that market. If only there was a track that was already there that had seats in it, and it was entertaining. In my opinion, a top 5 track in its day. Once we got the multi groove racing, and it's just gone now because you needed that 554 million for something, and what was it? We'll never know. It kind of gives that one family member that is asking for money for one thing and then uses it for another thing once the family gives it to him. We all got that one family member.
Yeah, we do.
But enough about that family member. Let's go to one last topic here in the warm-up lap, and that is Legacy Motor Club suing Rick Ware Racing over an alleged purchase of a charter that has gone awry, if you will. The Athletic reported that Legacy says the teams met in January 6th to strike a deal and signed it on March 3rd after agreeing on payment terms. Exact figures were not disclosed publicly, but charters have been sold up at valuations of up to $40 million. And now Legacy claims Rick Ware Racing has cold feet. And according to multiple sources familiar with the lawsuit, but not authorized to speak publicly, the dispute centers around the timing of when the charter would be transferred from RWR to Legacy. Rick Ware Racing says it was under the impression that it would go in effect for 2027. Legacy changed the year to 2026 without communicating it to the owner, Rick Ware. And our Rick Ware had a response and basically said the basic, we did business in good faith and we believe the truth will prevail bullshit that I believe both Front Row and NASCAR said when Front Row and 2311 did that to them. So I think the bigger question is, why does Legacy need a third charter, and why do they need it now? That's my main question. But Josh, what do you see from this, and what do you think?
I think Ben said it perfectly first before the show when we were all talking about it. Sounds like a bunch of he said, she said type stuff. Obviously, the truth will be found out once you see a piece of paper that says the date that was agreed upon. But I think what you said right there was best. Why does Legacy need another car?
Yeah.
They barely can make 2 run up front unless it's a restrictor place race. So what are we like? We talk about how we don't want the sport watered down, and we don't really want these bad teams getting other cars. Who could be in mind for that car, and everything else? It's just, I don't know. It's weird to me, as you mentioned, and I can honestly care less. Who knows? Maybe Jimmy wants to come back and wreck into a wall nonstop for 36 races. Oh, sorry, Ben, didn't see you there.
Yeah, Ben, this is your guy Jimmy. What's Jimmy want a third charter for?
Yeah, to be honest though, just like you guys mentioned, I'm a little confused why we want that third. They want that third charter at Legacy Motor Club because, I mean, they're not the best team. I just don't see how that would work out in a way. But overall, though, when I was doing this research last night, though, it was just a bunch of he said, she said stuff. I mean, Rick Ware said this, Legacy said that, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, overall, though, just crazy.
Another storyline I kind of want to bring into this is before we move along to our throwback draft. A team that recently just opened up a third team is Front Row Racing. Now, that was a team that was hanging around that top 20 in the point standings with McDowell and Gilliland, and they still are around there. Gilliland and Smith have had some impressive finishes, but you look at all the way down in 32nd, that's where you'll find Noah Gregson. So I just feel like you're going to see some regression. You look at RFK, they opened up a third team, Busher's in 11th, Priest is in 14th, two really great seasons to start, but Brad Keselowski has now found himself in 30th place in the points. You already have Eric Jones, who had a penalty. Without that penalty, he'd be around 24th, I guess. He's now 29th in the point standings with that penalty. But you have a pretty decent season start for John Hunter Nemechek, and I just feel like you need to focus on getting those two into playoff contention before you move on to a third team.
I was going to wrap it up with the mention of like a lot of these mid-tier, not even mid-tier. I wouldn't call them low-tier either. I don't know how to describe like front row.
Low tiers, Rick Ware Racing, and then there's like you can do it by stars. You got like 2 stars Rick Ware Racing, 3-star would be Legacy, 4-star would be like Trackhouse or something.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. So 2.5, 3-star, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
These teams getting 3 because we're even seeing it right now with Roush Fenway. They can't get all 3 cars up front right now.
No, they cannot.
So if we're seeing a team like Roush who can't do 3 cars, what makes me believe Trackhouse is, or not Trackhouse. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, Trackhouse. Well,
yeah, I was going to say that's they're right there with them.
Yeah, yep. Trackhouse, but like Legacy is going to be able to run 3 cars. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but yeah, as of right now for Legacy Motor Club, they just got to continue to improve. Which, in a way, we're seeing signs of John Hunter Nemechek and Eric Jones. They show flashes every once in a while, but yeah, I think as of right now, they just need to focus on getting those 2 cars more competitive and running up towards the front and trying to get themselves in playoff contention before they can focus on a third charter. Because if they focus more on that third charter, though, that's just going to lead to more distractions. So, yeah, they just got to focus on those 2 cars.
Roush fans know more than anybody that the decline started when they expanded to 5. They didn't get to 6, did they? It was only 5, right? Or did they get to 6? Teams?
I think it was 5.
It was just 5? Okay.
Yeah, just 5.
So, yeah, when they expanded to 5 teams back in the late 2000s, they had some good runs, but then they kind of regressed after that. And that was one stacked team. But anyways, we can talk about that another day. Let's get into our throwback paint schemes draft here. There's no point system or anything, obviously. We're just wanting to highlight some of our favorite schemes from this weekend, and I get the first overall pick because I came up with the segment. So I'm going to go ahead and take Kyle Larson's Kellogg scheme because we've talked about it in the past. I want to say it again. This scheme is beautiful. I loved the Terry Labonte scheme on the older games. So seeing Larson run it, perfection.
Yep.
Ben, you got the second overall pick. So who are you taking with that?
Wonder who's going to pick.
Yeah, so I'm sure this is not a surprise to you guys, but I'm going with Alex Bowman's throwback scheme to Jimmy Johnson's 2012 Southern 500 win. I mean, just growing up as a JJ fan, he always had a lot of success in that car, always running up front. And that particular paint scheme, though, he delivered Hendrick Motorsports' 200th career win in the 2012 Southern 500. So, yeah, it's going to be great to see that car up front again. And who knows, Bowman will be in victory lane.
Can I just say I really like that Jimmy scheme?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it doesn't work with the Ally for me. I don't dislike it, but I'm kind of meh about it. Do you see that or no?
I mean, no, not really.
I guess at the very least, I just prefer the Jimmy scheme over the Ally version. For some reason, it just comes off somewhat generic. I don't know. It's just me, I guess. But Josh,
I'm taking the Kyle Larson. I'm breaking the rules. I don't care. No, I'm kidding.
But it's that good that you could pick it twice.
Yeah, that car by far. That's my favorite Terry scheme. Even though the not Frosted Flakes, but the Corn Flakes also legendary. I think he took the victory lane last year, or maybe Did he win the throwback race last year?
I don't think so. It was
no.
Keselowski, right? Or no, Keselowski won the second one.
No,
Darlington.
No, I think it was Keselowski who won the first one.
Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm also going to be a homer. There's a Dale Earnhardt tribute on the track, so give me Austin Cindric in that too. Blue and yellow all the way back to his first Cup Series championship in 1980. Classic, kind of bland and plain, but it's still Dale Senior, and anytime there's a Dale Senior tribute on the track, I'm gonna go ahead and pick it.
There you go.
All right, so we're just going one back up to the top of the order now, and I want to go with Ryan Blaney's throwback to his dad in the 12. I think it is, or obviously his dad wasn't in the 12. I don't think in that scheme, but that doesn't really matter. The point is, it's a very very cool scheme with Menards and Dutch Boy on there. It is a different color, and I think that's why it hasn't gotten as much talk, but I still think it's a beautiful, beautiful scheme that even has its own little flair to it. It's not quite exactly the same, but it's based off of that scheme. Yeah, I really like that scheme, and wish we would get more primary schemes like that nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just looking at this list right here, one that really stood out to me was Josh Berry's throwback scheme to Jim Clark's.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was a really cool scheme. I mean, just going back to 1965, that was the year he won the Indianapolis 500, and I don't know much about Jimmy Clark besides his Indy 500 win, like I mentioned, but yeah, overall though, that's just such a really cool scheme for sure.
One that's not going to come surprising. Me and Colton talked about it before the show when we were literally running through every paint scheme. I always was a fan of the Jimmy Spencer target scheme, so go ahead and give me Cole Custer's classic look with the H on the front that kind of looks like the Target logo. Just old and clean is the best way to put it. And who knows, maybe Cole Custer can somehow not finish dead last and put it somewhere else besides there.
Yeah,
Brad Keselowski won the throwback race, and Chase Briscoe won the playoff race.
500.
Yeah, so that has been settled now. That brings it back to me though, and with my last pick, I have to go with it. I'll be honest, Sports Clips. If this was Aflac, it would have been my first pick. With Sports Clips, I never had a total attachment to them, but I do like the way they did this one. Give me Denny Hamlin. Throwback to good old Carl Edwards, who is playing with my heart this week by trying out some seats, getting some lap times. Don't know, I couldn't even tell where he was at, but yeah, just playing with my heartstrings, wearing his old Eris suit. Shout out Denny Hamlin and Joe Gibbs for a very nice looking sports clip.
All right, my next pick. I'm actually going to the Xfinity Series. I'm looking at Harrison Burton's paint scheme, which goes back to his dad's racing days at Roush. Obviously, Jeff Burton, he had a lot of success in that scheme, and I think that's going to be a really cool story to see his son run that scheme, and it's going to bring back old memories. So yeah, that's such a cool scheme for sure.
Josh,
yeah, my computer yelled at me. Sorry about that.
You're good.
I'm deciding between two, but I think what I'm gonna go with is I know it's ridiculous that I'm taking this long. I'm just gonna go with the Wawa tribute, JJ Yaley. Speaking of last place finishes, that's probably where it'll end up.
It's a shame.
It's an old throwback to good old Bill Elliott, which, side note, I would have preferred Chase Elliott doing a tribute, something like that.
Yeah, universe colors.
Yeah, so that's where I would go with that. But I'm gonna say an honorable mention just because I can.
I got a couple.
The Cody Ware Ward Burton tribute is fantastic.
There you go.
That scheme, I believe, is the scheme he took to Victory Lane in the Daytona 500.
Correct.
Correct.
2002.
Yeah, so I do like that. Just I'm not a fan of black and yellow often, but that is a nice one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I had a couple honorable mentions kind of queued up for the Xfinity Series. The 26 of Thompson, Dave Thompson? No, not Dave Thompson. Dean Thompson. I knew it was close. I got that mixed up with the professor. The Jamie Mack 26 throwback, man. Mwah! That is chef's kiss. That is the first car I ever got die-cast, was that 26 car. I have it sitting over in a box over here, I'm sure. Maybe one of you are talking. I might go try and grab it. absolute beauty. And then another one, the Xfinity Series, was two of them. We got the Nesquik throwback, and that's the 70 car of something Junior. Honeyman. Is it Lee Honeyman?
I think so. Lee Honeyman Jr.
Something Honeyman Jr. And then Matty D's throwback to Jeff Burton. Any Jeff Burton throwback scheme is going to be fire. So
Yeah, definitely.
love to see that.
I'm just going to throw it out there. Xfinity did 100 times better than.
Oh, absolutely. Because they have a lot more.
Yeah,
I'm going through here. I mean, they might wreck every single one of these cars if they do the run of last weekend.
Daniel Dye,
Right.
10.
The Anthony Alfredo Silver Bullet. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Xfinity,
Lot of
they
good ones.
did their thing for sure.
Absolutely. And I think Ty Dillon's also, even though it's not going to finish well, I guess he's doing decent this year. Ty Dillon's 10, I think, is pretty nice as well. It's a throwback to, it's a Petty throwback. I forget which Petty. Is it Kyle Petty's throwback?
Which one did you say?
I don't know.
Ty Dillon. I
I
recognize it
Ty
as
Dillon's
45 for sure.
Ty Dillon's Patty Moses
Is it not?
tribute.
Oh,
Yeah, 1989 Patty Moses throwback scheme.
I got Patty and Petty mixed up. Okay.
Daniel Dye is the one doing the Adam Petty throwback, which is
Okay. Well, they're both 10. It meshed
yeah,
in my brain. We'll attribute it to that. I mean, I love all of these. I think all these are great in their own respect. It makes me wonder, like, what are we going to do in 10 years? We're not going to throw it back to these schemes, are we? Like, what is a scheme in the field right now? And then we'll move on after this. What is a scheme in the field right now that you guys would want to throw back to? I only have one maybe in mind.
aggressive.
Yeah.
It got me in first place and got me a nice little boost in the standings.
Okay. Well, with no
It's forever gonna be
incentives behind it, with no
It's forever a
incentives
legacy car.
behind it. Ben, do you got one?
Oh man, that's tough. I would say maybe Kyle Larson tender car scheme. I don't know if that's a good one.
That'll be pretty iconic. Yeah. I would agree with that.
I mean, I don't know. It's already iconic today because it dates back to the late Ricky Hendrick.
I was gonna say it's kind of already a kind of throwback, or it's based upon those days.
Yeah.
The one I had in mind was probably some of those Alex Bowman ally schemes. I think that will be a pretty deep pool to pick from. There's some nice ones in there.
Yeah.
Also, the interstate batteries, which is still around every once in a while. That's always going to be a fire throwback.
Mm-hmm.
A couple Monster Energy cars, maybe.
Chastain's Moose, just because of the legacy of.
The Hail Melon. We'll see that. Whoever drives the one in about 10 years.
The Hail Melon. That's a good one for sure.
I could see a couple RFK cars, maybe. They got some, especially with all the different Kroger schemes. There's some out there.
But it's like every other sport, Colton. The old throwbacks and paint schemes are so much better than what we have nowadays. Just like the jerseys are better from the old days than they are now.
I would argue it's a lot more drastic in other sports, though. That's
fair.
Especially, I mean, Utah Jazz. That's all I have to say. Good Lord. We always have to take at least one shot at basketball on this podcast, as much as I love it. So now it is time for the power rankings. Ben's going to reveal his. Me and Josh will remind you of ours. Josh, you want to start?
Yeah, I believe this is my correct order. It was Bowman was 5th, 4th was Hamlin, 3rd was Byron, 2nd was Larson, and 1st was still Bell. That 2, 3, 4 spot can easily jump Bell if Bell were to have a bad week, but you can't move him down after finishing 2nd place, 3rd place.
2nd place.
So yeah, I'll keep him at number 1.
All right. For me, it is in 5th place, Denny Hamlin coming off his win. Bubba Wallace in 4th place, Kyle Larson, 3rd, Byron, and then Bell still at top. Like Josh said, Byron, if he doesn't finish top 10 this week, he's falling. If Bell doesn't get like a top 5, he's at risk depending upon who wins the race. So there's still a chance for some movement. But Ben, what do you got this week?
All right. So starting off at number 5 this week, guys, I got Chase Elliott. After an up and down start to the season, though, he had his best best performance of the year at Martinsville over the weekend, led 42 laps, was the highest finishing Chevy, and I feel like we're going to see him out front more on the short tracks. And moving on at number 4, I got William Byron. Rough start, or I wouldn't say rough start. He finished 23rd at Martinsville. It was kind of his worst race of the 2025 season.
It was. It
Yeah.
was the
First
first
race he didn't really win.
Yep, I was about to point that out. First race not leading a lap, had pit road issues, but hopefully he'll try to bounce back this week at Darlington. Number 3, I got Denny Hamlin. Obviously, first win at Martinsville, led a race hard 298 laps. I feel like just like Chase Elliott, he's going to continue to be a more of a factor on these short tracks. And we also go to a place this weekend where he has had a lot of success, Darlington, 3 wins. So look for that 11 car to keep the momentum. Christopher Bell, I got in second, finished second at Martinsville, bounced back after 2 rough weeks, looked competitive, and I feel like they're starting to catch their rhythm, and what we saw at the beginning of the year, they're starting to catch their rhythm back. And number 1, I got Kyle Larson, continues to be inconsistent, 4 straight top 10 finishes, 3 of those being top 5s. So yes, that is my top 5 this week.
All right. I like it. We're getting to the part of the season where I feel like we all have pretty well the same people, maybe 1 off, 2 off, but it's just a matter of where we order them. So it's getting pretty interesting. So now, without further ado, I say we get into our Fast 5 picks. Ben, you had the least amount of points last week, so you get first dibs on what pick you would like. So what do you want to take?
All right. So this week I'm going with the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Obviously, like I mentioned in the power rankings, coming off momentum at Martinsville, getting his first win of the year, leading 298 laps. And we're going to a track where he's had a lot of success. Darlington's obviously been a great track for him with 3 wins, always running up front, leading laps. And I feel like the 11 car, they're picking up momentum at the right time. So yeah, I'm taking Denny Hamlin.
Josh, you got the second pick.
Dick. All right. I'm going to go ahead and take the guy that I think is going to win the race. And we talked about it already on Tuesday. Give me Brad K.
All right.
Wow. You could have taken him at the 5th pick, but thank you. Thank you very much, because I'm going to take William Byron. He's not having 2 bad weeks in a row. Shaking it. This is one of his best tracks, if not his best track. 10th place average finish. Got a win here. He's only finished outside the top 20 once in the next gen era. So give me Willie B. And we're going back to back with the Hendrick boys, because Kyle Larson is going to be my second pick. So give me Kyle Larson, William Byron. I'm going with the back-to-back Hendricks. I'm feeling it. Larson's average finish here is not as good, but he's still good. He's still a good driver here. He just maybe will give me some stage points, but maybe won't get the finish. But he's led the most laps in the next gen era. So Byron, Larson, beautiful first round for me.
All right.
So we talked about this individual not being good at short tracks. However, he is very good at Darlington. He's the only driver who has 3 top 5s since February 2022. Give me Tyler Reddick.
All right. Not bad. All right. So I'm going with the 17 of Chris Buescher. Darlington was a good track for him last year. Finished top 10, he was close to getting the win last year, but got into the fence with Tyler Reddick. Could have won that race, but he finished 6th, I believe, in last year's Southern 500. So, Buescher, I feel like he's going to be up front this weekend, so give me the 17.
All right. And then you got another one?
All right. Just looking at this list right here. Give me the 19 of Chase Briscoe. I feel like the last 2 weeks, though, that 19 team, they're starting to put things together. They're starting to get those consistent finishes, coming off 2 consecutive top 10s, and he won last year's Southern 500, and I feel like they're starting to pick up pace at the right time. So give me the 19 of Chase Briscoe.
I was afraid you were going to take. I'm going to say I was afraid you're going to take this guy, but I'm going to take Tyler Reddick's partner. Give me Bubba Wallace. He's been very well at this track. He has 4 top 10s in his career, average finish of 11.8, which is the same as Reddick. So it wouldn't be a surprise to me if we maybe finally see a Reddick or Wallace victory also this weekend.
Yep.
Did not expect to be in this position, but give me Christopher Bell. He's got the third best average
Oh,
finish
wow. I'm an idiot.
here. Third best average finish here since the next gen era. And then I'm also going to take Chase Elliott with my next pick. So Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell. Elliott is a guy that just I feel like will consistently get me a good finish here, and actually has competed for some wins. I don't know if there was a next gen era or not, but who knows? We can see it, and he has good momentum coming from Martinsville, so hopefully that'll carry over here to Darlington. But probably not. He'll probably just run around 20th and find a way to finish 12th. So, oh well, that's points.
Yeah, well, Colton, you already know this pick is coming. Ben, you didn't watch the show on Tuesday, so I'll let the people at home know just in case they didn't. Former champion here at Darlington, and we spoke about his team earlier in the show. Give me Eric Jones.
All right, not a bad pick. I like that.
I just didn't like the aura around that team.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, just looking at this list right here. I'm going with the one of Ross Chastain. Feel like every once in a while, we see him running up front at Darlington, and obviously it's been a good track for him. So keep an eye out for that one car this week.
All right, and back to you.
All right. Let's see. My last pick this week. Give me the 22 of Joey Logano. Feel like coming off that his first top 10 of the year last week. Who knows? Maybe that's going to spark some momentum moving forward for that 22 group, and maybe we'll see him running up front at Darlington. I mean, he knows how to get around that place. Obviously, has a win. So, yeah, it's my top 5 this week.
I like that. What you got, Josh?
He's driving the Dale Earnhardt tribute car. Only reason I'm taking him, he's not good at this track, but I don't care. It's the Dale car. Give me Austin Cindric.
All right.
I was kind of more listening to you guys than thinking about what my next pick was going to be. We got pretty much all of the top 10, so I guess I'll go ahead and go to the bottom of the list here, 26th. But he does have 2 top 10s in the next gen era of 6 races, so I'm going to go ahead and take Alex Bowman, just kind of going off of somebody who's had a good start to the season. The last race was one of 2 races this year that he's finished outside the top 10, and that was just because of some stupid strategy. Let's not get into that stupid strategy that you had to deal with the first 5 years with Greg Ives. Let's chill out. Let's stick with the leaders. You have fast cars week in and week out. Let's stay up there. And I think you'll do that this week and get a good finish. I'm very, very pleased with my team. Can't wait for them to all be in the top 5 to start and disappear. But here we go.
I was going to say, you now have all 4 Hendricks guys, right?
I do. Yeah, I got Elliott, Bowman, Larson, Byron, and then Bell.
Yep.
So
nothing can go wrong. This totally can't.
This will go perfectly.
All Hendricks engines just magically blow.
Hendrick engines will all just have on the same lap, the final lap in which they're running 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what's going to happen. That is, God, I can't wait. Most weeks that would be a hell of a team though. So, and I gave my team. Let's look at Josh's. You got Brad K, who you took with the second overall pick. Then Bubba Wallace, Eric Jones, and Austin Cindric. Thank you for trying to level out the playing field a little bit. Ben, Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, Chase Briscoe, Ross Chastain, and Joey Logano. That's the teams. So now it's time to get into, or do you want to say anything about your teams before we get into race winners?
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm all right too.
All right. Well, Ben, you had the first pick, so you get the first race winner pick.
All right. So he's coming off momentum last week at Martinsville, getting his first win of the year, leading a race-high 298 laps. And I know I keep mentioning it, though, but he's going to a track where he's had a lot of success. Give me the 11 car of Denny Hamlin. I feel like that 11 car is going to go back-to-back this week. So I look for him to get his 4th or his 5th win at Darlington.
So yeah. I was going to say Brad K, but because you disrespected him and you didn't say him while we were talking about our teams, you forgot to mention Tyler Reddick is on my team. So I'm going to pick Tyler Reddick to win this race. He has led the most laps since 2022. He is also the only driver to have 3 top fives, as I mentioned when I picked him. So when
Kyle
Tyler,
Larson's led more laps
not the list I'm looking at,
since 2022.
yeah,
It says here Reddick 275, Larson 392.
yeah.
Larson
yeah.
was so far down the list you couldn't see him probably.
Yeah, the one button did not update Larson at the top.
Yep.
But yes, so you are correct there. I apologize. But yeah,
But
Reddick,
he's up there. Yeah.
correct. Yeah. So again, I'm gonna take Tyler Reddick because you disrespected him. Didn't say he
I
was
didn't
on
say
my team.
Tyler Reddick.
You didn't mention Tyler Reddick on my
I
team.
was looking right at the list that has Tyler Reddick on there.
Yep, so you didn't mention him on my team, which means he's gonna go out and win the race just to make you feel stupid.
All right, good. I'm glad. I hope so. I don't hope so because that would be painful. For me, I feel like it's very hard because I have like 3 guys that I could see winning this race. So I want to pick a guy that's on my team. Does William Byron get back in victory lane? Does Larson? Does Bell? I mean, they've all 3 been really dominant this year. I think I'm going to go with Larson. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Larson. I like the vibes around Larson this week. I don't really know why, but I do. So give me Larson to go ahead and win. He's led a lot of laps here. Just needs to get the finishes. He tends to start well as well. So you should give me some stage points at the very least, and maybe win some stages. But I think Larson will get the race win. He'll get her done this year.
And then, Ben, I did have a question, not to cut you off, Colton. I know you always throw to us if we want to add something.
Yeah.
Ben, we talked about Tyler Reddick not doing well at short tracks. And by not doing well, like historically bad at short tracks.
Yep.
Do you think that is going to end up costing him come playoff time, potentially, especially with the last race in being Martinsville?
I mean that's kind of tough. Yeah, I could definitely see it happening for sure. He just needs to learn to turn it around a little bit because, we just got to see for sure.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting for sure how that all works. But any snubs you see in the field that maybe we'll regret? Ryan Preece had a decent 18th place finish within his 4 races at Stewart Haas. Could see him getting a good finish as he has throughout the year. Dinger has a decent average finish. Kyle Busch, nobody picked him this week. Todd Gilliland. Justin Haley has a 15th place average finish. Ty Gibbs, 15th as well. Couple of guys that, we're just maybe looking at how they've started this year off and kind of writing them off, but could definitely finish on top or in a good spot.
This is definitely the least confident I've been going into a race because
you took some swings. It's baseball season, so you must have been feeling some swings because you took some.
Yeah, I did. The fact that you literally got left all 4 Hendricks is enough to say that.
I was like, no way, Alex Bowman comes back.
Ben didn't take one. Ben always finds one.
Yeah.
Especially the 48. I would have dedefinitely assumed he would have got the 48.
He's gotta know.
I decided to go different this week.
Oh, when that 48 wins, he's gonna be so pissed.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Just for that, I switched my race winner to Alex Bowman just to spite him. Because actually no, because that'll wait. Now I'm stuck in a mental prison. We'll just stick with my original thought of Kyle Larson, but I should. Ben probably has sources within Hendrick that are like, hey, we're going to be pretty bad this week. Don't pick him. He didn't deny it. All right. Well, it sounds like we've gotten everything wrapped up here. So excited for some Darlington racing. It's always a good track. It's a track where driver style or driver talent really means a lot. You got to have a good car, but look at Justin Haley. I remember John Hunter Nemechek getting a good finish here, getting on the radar with the top 10 finish here. So Eric Jones winning with Petty GMS, like Brad Kay getting his first win in a while. It takes some skill at this track. And that's kind of reflected by the best average finish being 10th place. It's going to be wild. There's going to be people that project well that don't end up being as well as we thought, and some others that we didn't see coming finishing well. So we wrap it all up, or y'all got any last words you want to get out there? All right.
Nope.
Yeah, you're good, Ben. Alrighty. We'll go ahead and wrap this up then. Thank you all for listening. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and comment down below your guys' thoughts on what our picks and all of that. I know Bull always has something. How'd you let him get this and that? So I'm curious.
Oh, it's 100% gonna be the Hendricks swap.
It's gonna be. How'd you let him have? I'm asking you guys the same question, but we'll find out why on Sunday when it does not go well. But be sure to follow us on Twitter. For me, it's at LFC__99. And for Josh, it's at JNorth1989. And for Ben, at Ben Miller PXP. Finally got it right the first time. Always want to say B Miller. So shout out.
There you go.
But yeah, be sure to check us out on Twitter. We're always active on there. And thank you all for coming on. We will see you all next week after the throwback weekend at Darlington. Peace.